Welcome to Toffee TV. This is the final word for Chelsea 5 Everton.
Said that quietly.
Yeah, I don't really know where to start with this one. Maybe we should let's just address something. I think we did our instant match reactions. I don't think either of us were overly fume. There wasn't major fume, because for me in this game the fume came on the 22nd minute, and it had a lot of time then to just dissipate. That's when the fume was. But I personally, I can't talk for you obviously, but I am not going to go overboard about this defeat, because I still feel it's quite early on in the Koeman era, and I think I've seen other managers have heavy defeats quite early-ish on, and it's not necessarily a reflection on the end result of where we want to go. So I'm keeping it all in context. That's not to say I'm not going to rip the arses out of the players and the manager in this video, but in context, I'm not going to go overboard about this. And pretty much, and today's Monday, and I'm not walking around worried about it too much. I'm not.
Yeah, no, I agree. I said on Saturday night, it was one of those, I wouldn't call it a perfect storm, but it felt a bit like that in terms of how the game was, you know. But I think in the bigger picture, I just thought, well, at least he knows now about some players. Anyone who was harping on and he might have been unsure, he kind of knows. Don't forget, he got tonked 6-1 at home by Liverpool last year for Southampton, and then they still turned in some.
Can I just pull this?
This 1, 2, 3, yeah.
That was Saturday the 27th of October 1984. Everton 5, Manchester United 0. What happened at the end of that season between these two teams?
We won the league and they beat us in the cup final.
There you go.
So I'll take beating Chelsea in the cup final if they win the league.
It doesn't. It's not always the way it goes.
It was a horrible weekend for many reasons, on the sporting front.
Yeah. I had to change the tire at 3 o'clock in the morning as well. Didn't help.
So there you
go. With that hand.
With dodgy hand.
That hand.
Burnt hand.
That hand.
But yeah, it happens, doesn't it? We caught them they beat United 4-0 at home last time out. They beat us 5-0. They're playing absolutely fantastic, and we didn't, for one reason or another, didn't turn up. So,
well, I mean, we've been talking about the last few weeks, and you did the starting 11 with Les, so it's pretty much your fault for 3 at the back. So, I mean, I
wanted to address something, because I saw a few of your tweets blaming the 3-5-2.
I didn't blame the 3-5-2.
Or not blaming it, but alluding to the fact that it caused us problems. I don't think it caused us any problems. The manager said it himself after the game, nothing to do with the system. When you're mate,
I think
you know what? You could have played. We'd have played 4-4-2, 4-4-1-1. We still had somebody in goal that threw the first two in his net.
But I know, and I know. But the system, I wanted to see us play three at the back. Maybe this was not the game, but I did want to see us play 3 at the back, because I felt like we had the players to do it, and Saturday proved we don't have the players, and Saturday proved that, and this is something you've said before, is that it's not about systems, it's about players. If you don't have the players, the player system, the system doesn't work. It's as simple as that. If you don't have good players, systems don't work. And what Saturday proved is that someone like Ashley, Jagielka is different, because Jagielka was it's just suddenly gone very, very bad very, very quickly. Someone like Ashley,
in the England squad.
I know. Someone like Ashley Williams, signed for the club, been very, very good. Okay, he's had a couple of dodgy moments here and there, but consistently been very, very good. But suddenly you change a system. You change him from being an old-fashioned centre-back who knows what his job is, getting tackles and getting blocks and getting interceptions in, staying in his comfort zone. Suddenly you put him in a 3, and you start moving him, and he has to go out and chase players. And Jagielka did the same. I mean, oh my God, when he tried to chase Costa for that last goal, oh my God, that was embarrassing. Let's just say, not for him, because he got.
It happened again, and Williams got 2 blocks and all that. But Ashley Williams got to the European Championship semi-finals in the summer, playing in the 3. So he's used to it. I don't buy that. For me, I think the problem was, me personally, like we've just said, it's about players. I think what we found out was our players aren't good enough. Mentally, they're not strong enough.
No.
I've said how many times have I said to you, we've got certain players who are a 1 or a 9, they're not a 7. Until Everton get a squad or team of 7 and 8s, we ain't going anywhere. And against those, in those, those top matches, against when you're playing against real quality, and let's be honest, Chelsea have got some fabulous players. They were poor last year.
Yeah,
but he's revitalised them.
Yeah, they were sulks.
Yeah, exactly. Look at Hazard on Saturday. He was back to Eden Hazard that we all know. But if you get players not chasing back, not working hard enough, fans have got the favourites, and I understand that. You always have them at your club, but I've gone to the point now where I don't really care about players.
I don't really
because
care about players.
Too many of them don't perform to the level.
No, but I mean, but the system didn't help because he set it up. And you're right. And do you know what? These two things linked, because he set us up in a system, and it was very clear. I felt it was clear that the players didn't buy into the system. And that's what I'm saying. So you're right what you're saying about mentally strong, because I looked at players there and I seen loads of players whose excuse was the system they were playing in. No, do you know what I mean? Like, it didn't suit anyone, so they just almost abandoned it. What was so good about Chelsea on Saturday, just for a minute, was they smelled blood and went for it, and that was brilliant. And that is a team that was just like
property.
That was just like switched on. We're going for this. Like, we always refer to last season when we had really good leads in games like Southampton, Sunderland, and we just stopped after an hour. Like, there's no intensity to keep going. And you're right about players. We've got so many poor players, but so many mentally.
It's weakness.
It's
not. I don't even think it's. I wouldn't even. Like we said at the start, I'm not going to go overboard. So I don't think we've got poor players, right? But what I think we've got is we've got mentally weak players, and we've had mentally weak players for a while. Well, you can think back to the semi-final against Liverpool in 2012, and it's gone on every time we've come up on a career-defining moment for the club. Not defining, but to break like a cup voodoo or something like that. We've fallen short.
Well, isn't this what we said last season when we got beat 4-0? Was it the 4-0? It might have been the 4 game, or it might have been another game. And I sat here and I said, our players, we'll never win anything with these players, because we were weak. But last season the difference was
quarter final.
Last season we were led by a weak manager.
Yeah.
And that filtered down, and that's why I always said in the summer we need a winner. We need a winner to come in and still. And I think the difference now is and I know Koeman's not blameless. No way is he blameless for Saturday. He set a team up, and he made mistakes during the game, which we'll come to. But I'm hoping that what Koeman will do is he'll look at that with the ruthless, cold-blooded way he seems to have about him and say, "You're done. You're done. You're done." Now, okay, it's not going to happen for Swansea. I know a lot of people are like, you can't make loads and loads.
Makes 5 or 6.
But again, that's not even. Is that really plausible? Well, I know. On the surface, it's like you want that reaction. But what I'm saying is, though, Koeman will have looked at him and gone,
"I've got 3 in my mind."
Okay, well, we'll come on to that. But Koeman will go, "Yeah, you're done. Yeah, you're done. I'm getting a replacement for you, and you." Yeah. Whereas before the game, and again, this is something I tried to put across on the instant reaction and stuff, is that before the game, you might have a chance, and now it's just gone, "Nah, you're shit. You're gone, lad. You're gone." And if anything positive comes out of this game, there'll be that and Tom Davies, hopefully. So,
if you look at it, you've got for Everton to move. For me, in my mind, for Everton to move on, half of our first team starters have to become our bench, right? And they're replaced by better. So the quality we've got in that first team needs to be the quality that's on your bench, and then replaced in the first team by better than that. So you've got someone who can come in and do a job, but they're not your first team. Because I look around at other clubs, I was painting yesterday, so I had the game after game. I watched Arsenal Tottenham, which was diabolical, despite commentators trying to tell me it was intriguing, and it was...
No. In spite of commentators talking about Everton every 2 minutes.
Yeah, but that's by the by. Then I put Hull and Southampton on for a bit, which was bizarre. And then I switched over and put the others on because they were winning 3-0. I thought, well, the game's over, so I'll just watch how they attack. And they were like Chelsea attack so quickly. Chelsea attack so quickly. When Everton attack, it's slow still.
And also they've got this thing, right? It's got this thing called movement. Don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah.
It's called movement. Off the ball. It's called.
Well, I watched that. I mean, Arsenal, even though the final ball wasn't very good, their movement was excellent. It was quick. Chelsea, against us, obviously, movement was excellent. Really quick and sharp and incisive. Liverpool, very, very quick and sharp and incisive. Even a bit of United. I'd seen a couple of the goals where they were moving. Not as polished. But in our final third, and it happened in this game, there's zilch movement.
No, there was nothing.
You know, and for us to go to that level, for me,
we're miles away, and I think it's the fact that we're still 7th is unbelievable. But you know, I'm just the three at the back. See, last week second half we were great. We played the 4, and the full backs were getting forward, and it was fine. And I don't know whether again that's played into his mind. Maybe try and get the full backs forward. But it's nothing worked, did it, whatsoever. Lukaku was... I've seen people like, you know, some in the comments and stuff, Chelsea fans laughing at Lukaku. It's like, well, what could he have...
I'm gonna pick on Lukaku a little bit here today, because he was given fantastic service and he was wasteful, not because he couldn't get on the end of things, we didn't create. But in them games, he's up against Gary Cahill, who for me, I wouldn't have in a Yankee bet. He's absolute garbage. Sideshow Bob had a comfortable afternoon all day. And Aspilicueta, who's a good player anyway, thought he was good. But Rom, it's two... In those games, he was just walking around the pitch. Costa, at the other end, was getting involved, and he was picking the ball up and running. Lukaku, for me, should be doing some of that. He showed the Goodison. He bullied them. When they came down to Goodison in March, he bullied them on his own. He went for it, he was hungry, he was ready for it. I understand he's isolated. And this is what I said on my ratings. I couldn't hammer him too much because he's left on his own. But there's still things he needs to do better. He can't just go, well, we're crap, so I'm not going to make any impact in this game at all. Same with Ross Barkley.
That's the difference between... I suppose that's the difference between Rom and Costa. A lot of people talk about Rom and Costa before the game. Costa makes the best of bad situations, doesn't he? But Rom not that kind of striker. And what Chelsea did really didn't have to worry too much. But what they did is their centre backs just sat 10 yards in their own half all game and just said, we're not going to leave the space behind you for the, you know, they just kept us. You know, but kept all the danger.
But this is what we've said about our system. Yeah. It's very easy to have him 3v1. Mate, he's not going to do anything 3v1, is he? I just wanted him to get involved in the game, or the game passed them by. But the way we were supposed to have Balassi next to him, but Balassi... Going
back to what you were saying before, because we got away from the topic about being mentally strong. It's that's what makes top players, isn't it? Being mentally strong. You know, when people are like about to... like, you know, hostile crowds and all the rest of it and all that kind of thing, and going to certain grounds that you haven't won for years, it's having that mental toughness, isn't it? That all top players have, to be able to turn up at those grounds and beat them and put because it was mentioned last week by Koeman when he said the first half against West Ham we looked a little bit scared. And you know, a little bit, you know,
like they weren't enjoying it.
Like he said second half and said let go a little bit. And we end up winning 2-0. And again, that's mental toughness, isn't it? It's to walk out and go, right, forget about everything else. I'm going to win my little battle, and I'm going to be at it all game. And again, we don't have enough of that.
They're defining moments in games. To be a professional, we'll sit here and go, he's crap. The professional football is obviously not crap. You know what I mean? We work jobs, they play football for a living, so they're obviously good at what they do. But what defines them from being better and better and better is that mentality, and our players haven't got it. They haven't got it. It's fact, they haven't got it. Otherwise, we wouldn't be waiting 22 years to win at Stamford Bridge. We wouldn't have not won at Anfield since 1999. We wouldn't have not won at Arsenal since 1996. Say these numbers to yourself.
I know.
It's embarrassing.
But that's something that, whether people like it or not, that runs through the club. That's run from top to bottom for the last 25 years, isn't it? And people been allowed to. And people go, that's nonsense, and you go, no, it isn't, because if you're allowed to buy those kind of players, and it's allowed to go on, it will fester, and that's what makes the club less adequate.
In my opinion, we got two people now in there who will change that, or will certainly attempt to change it, and that's Farhad Moshiri, and it's Ronald Koeman. Ronald Koeman, whether people, seeing people tweeting, he's definitely not hanging around, because he never mentions Everton. It never mentions us. It's always Everton. Guardiola mightn't stay at Man City longer than 3 years, so it's neither here nor there. Koeman may end up staying here because he might not have the next place to go, or if he does get the next job, it means he's done well at Everton.
I've had this conversation today already, and Koeman is a cold fish. He is a cold fish, but the difference is, Everton. If Everton are stepping stone for Ron Koeman, he has to do well at Everton, because if he doesn't, then where's his next job going to be?
That's what I mean. So,
Barcelona are not going to come knocking if he's had a. Remember Martinez in his first year? Everyone was like,
he got a big fat contract on the top of that first.
But everyone said he's going to do this and he's going to do that, and we're worried that Barca are going to come in for him. 2 years later, he's in the sack. It's football, isn't it? Whether Koeman has a certain way about him, it doesn't really sort of endear him to anyone. But if that's his way of doing it, that's his way of doing it. I believe yesterday he was playing golf somewhere. If that's his way of handling it, then that's...
I don't care what he does as long as he makes us better. And that's the... And I think we've gone as if... So I'm not telling anyone to do whatever. Everyone's going to support Everton the way they want to support them. But I think for my own personal preference or my own personal sanity is let go of the things that have held us in for so long. We've clung on to players, and we want this manager and this vision of move. If Everton are going to be successful, got to get used to players getting chased, ones we like. We got to let go of the things we know. The manager's this manager may be here for 3 years, he may be here for 10 years. We don't know at this moment in time, but it doesn't matter as long as the club keeps moving forward. There's a structure in place that if Koeman goes, we get
heard from Mr. Moshiri today, and we'll be doing another video on that separately, but he's got his vision. He knows Ronald Koeman's part of that vision, and it's like I said earlier, this game, you've still got a lot of, and people in comments been saying like shouldn't blame Martinez, but this game's still got a lot of remnants of the last sort of era, and Koeman hasn't had a chance. Okay, people say in the summer he should have brought more players in, but I like to think that he had to assess what he had, and that's taken longer than with Steve Walsh coming in late, and obviously financial situation as well, with maybe having to sell Stones first because of the financial fair play. It's just the way it's felt, and it's going to take, like he said, a couple of windows to get his type of players in.
Well, and you can only do, people will believe what they want to believe. End of story. I've seen obviously the Moshiri interview today, and there was 90% positivity from it, 10% people still going, it's Bill. His bill is in it, it's black, and it's this and it's that, and the summer, and they only got money to spend because of Stones and all. That's fine if that's what people believe. That's fine. The reality is with FFP, it's to do with the wages. Even Moshiri said we couldn't spend the money. Jim White said that, I think we couldn't spend the money the way City did and the way Chelsea did, because there was no one regulating. So you could spend whatever you want. It's your money now. It has to be from club funds. Now City have got round that by sponsoring the Etihad for 500 million, their own company, and I think as Everton go forward, Everton's deals will change, and that'll free up more money. But he tried to make them signings in the summer. He tried to get Axel Witsel, and he tried to get Koulibaly, and he tried to get Gabbiadini. And the strikers issue for me is where he let himself down, and the club let us as fans down, because it's criminal that we still only have Romelu Lukaku.
Yeah.
You can go on about Balassi, and I like Balassi, but he's a wide player.
Yeah.
He's not going to get enough goals. I watched, like I said before, I watched a bit of Southampton yesterday, and they had Charlie Austin and they had Dusan Tadic on one side, they had Nathan Redmond on the other, they had Rodriguez on the bench. Last year they had Pella, they had Sadio Mane, they had Shane Long. You know, they basically had 3 lads up front, Koeman. All 3 could score 10 and 15 goals. And then they had Rodriguez and Austin on the bench. We have 5 strikers, effectively, that could score goals.
Yeah.
Everton's problem in this team is there's Romelu Lukaku and there's nothing else. Ross Barkley, okay, I think he got 12 goals last year and all. He might get 6 or 7 this year because he's only got 2, I think, so far. Other than that, Balassi's going to get, what, 3? If we're lucky. Delafeu doesn't score. So there's no goals in the team.
There's not a midfield.
So essentially, for me, that's where he's got to go and buy.
Yeah.
And he will. But, I mean, back to this game. We started off okay. It was about getting through the first 15 minutes, which we did. You know, they had a lot of the ball, but they didn't really have...
No, they didn't have a shot till he scored.
That's what I mean. And the goal comes from us.
Yeah.
It's not
Well, I actually tweeted it just before, and I said, my biggest worry, I said, we're giving the ball away too much. I said, we can't keep the ball. That's our biggest problem. And I know we will criticise, but that's our biggest... We can't string 3 passes together. This is the problem. We don't... Not so far this season, we're in November now, we do not play any football. We play in periods, we play in moments. We score out of little moments of football, little, like, either individual moments or things like last week. You know, we don't score by going bing 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 bing, or going bing 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 bing, it didn't score, then we do the same thing, it didn't score, and then finally you go, we've got a pattern of play here. We score in moments. But
didn't we criticise us for going bing bing?
No,
bing, bing,
I understand, but there's no real pattern of play, and I'm not. Again, that's a work in progress. He's trying to get things down, and we rely heavily on you know, Romelu Lukaku. But you know, if we can't keep the ball in midfield, then we've got a problem. We give the ball away in midfield, and suddenly we've been tamed.
We've got no options. Though.
No.
That's if you watch Everton, just watch it again. Just have a look. And this Ross Barkley gets criticised, and rightly so sometimes, but he gets the ball and looks up, there's nobody moves, everyone stands still, and I'm talking Lukaku, and I'm talking Morales, or whoever it may be, Balassi, or if it's Delafeu's there, or Lennon, or Cleverly, whoever, no one moves. So he might pass it there, but if he had 2 strikers running off either way, he'd be able to feed it. You watch Chelsea, they broke on us, and the movement, they were everywhere, and that's why we just got decimated. We give the ball away, Lukaku lays it back to Barry. It's not the greatest ball, but all Gareth Barry's got to do there is just pop it back to Rom. He's got time to give him it back and then move, and he doesn't. He hesitates because he wants to take a touch. He takes a first touch and slips, and there you go. Hazard drives on with it quickly, their movement's great, plays it wide, gets put... plays it, he runs, gets played over to this side. Seamus Coleman is jogging back. Hazard's left him. Seamus Coleman's just jogging. No, I'll get there when I want. Ashley Williams goes out wide with Hazard. Coleman doubles up, and neither of them do anything. He skips past the 2 of them. It's a half-arse shot, and the keeper lets it under his body, which is, for me, absolutely diabolical goalkeeping.
Yeah, it was awful.
It was straight at him, and he moved his hand out the way almost.
It was awful, and then, you know, quick fire second.
But this was where, before you talk, this is where mentality then.
Yeah.
You've conceded a poor goal, right? Sit in, get everyone behind the ball, and let's keep this for 10 minutes. Get our heads back on the game, because realistically, they had all the ball, but like you said, they hadn't carved us open, they weren't having shots. You know, we were defending okay. I mean, sometimes we were giving the ball away on the edge of our box ridiculously, and I mean just kicking it anywhere rather than being calm about it. And that's where we should have pulled ranks, got everyone back nice and tight for 10 minutes and just let it
sit. I think that's so, and again though, I'll come back to playing 3 at the back, that again, it's having that, it's being comfortable, isn't it, with what you're playing. Like you just said, Alexi Williams getting pulled out, and then after the goal it was again players getting pulled out where they don't want to be. Jack Yelka doesn't want to be out there, Ashley Williams doesn't want to be out there. No, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's the mentality to just say, lads, let's switch it, let's just not go back to like whatever, but just hold on to what you've got. And they don't, and a ball comes in the box and he puts it between the goalie's legs.
Wasn't even the greatest shot.
It wasn't. It was a rubbish shot.
I mean, they broke. We give it away again, and they break. and I think it's Hazard is looking for the ball inside. It might have been to Costa and he misses it, or he hits it behind him, and Alonso was running up. It's just a weak shot under the keeper, and you know it's a bad one because Jagielka throws the arm at the keeper.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I keep me up, mate. Jagielka throws the arm at the goalie and you're 2-0 down, and you can talk about systems and that, but we could have been 2-0 down in a 4-4-2 or there was no way back from there. There was literally no way.
And then for me, Koeman makes a bollock for me. And people can argue, but he should have took Jagielka off for me. I think he should have took.
Possibly.
No, I think he should have. I think he should have. What he should have done there.
I don't think he trusts. That to me showed he doesn't trust Oviedo.
Well, then don't have him anywhere near the team then, because for me, you're on your arse. You're 2-0 down, and you've just said, well, we'll keep him 3 centre backs on. Where Funes Mori's not a left back, and he doesn't even look comfortable at left back.
But he didn't go 3. He went to 4, didn't he? Mori went left back.
But that's what I'm saying. He went to 4, and he's put Mori at left back. Whereas I would just kept Oviedo at left back and took Jagielka off and just said, well, you know, you or whoever.
Shouldn't have put Morales on.
Well, I would have just gone back to a 4 and kept me full backs on. I don't understand
I'd have honestly probably just put Delafeu on there. If he had to make it all Lennon. Morales, sadly I'm done with him now. I think he just offers absolutely nothing. The kid, he offers nothing at all. And I was once saying this will be his year now because he'll work.
Well, you just hoped, didn't you? You hoped more than you.
But he's got this ability that he doesn't do. He floated through the game again.
But as I say, I would have kept Oviedo on, gone to a 4 that functions. Because you're 2-0 down, you still need a bit of attack and bite, don't you? You still need.
But we'd got away with one. I think it was 0-0 or was it 1-0 when they hit the post, the outside of the post. Oviedo switches off, and I think it was 0-0. Cross comes in.
Wasn't that a 2-0?
Or was it 2? I can't remember. It was, but I know that he just switches off. But Moses comes in. But
I just think for me, I'd have gone to a normal back 4 with the normal back 4 players in the normal positions, and just felt like Shuon and Funes Mori, who's not very good at left back, just added to the uncertainty of what was going. Because no one looked certain of where they were playing. Obviously, the name that we haven't mentioned yet is Garner. So him being not in there was just a massive miss. And January. Oh my God, African nations. Him not being there meant there was no bite. It also meant for Gareth Barry almost went back to 12 months ago and was like having to do that job. Having to do that job. And he, to be fair, this season Gareth Barry helps keep possession so well. And him in there and Cleverly in there, there's just not
Cleverly.
I know, but Cleverly's just not. You've replaced Garner with Cleverly. Do you know what I mean? It's just it doesn't work.
I don't think I'd want to replace my guy Gay with Cleverly, if I'm honest. Never mind Idrissa. He's quickly becoming one of the worst players I've seen. He offers nothing. He absolutely offers zilch. He's one of those kids that isn't very good at football but can run around, and that's what Tom Cleverly is for us.
But unfortunately,
well, I mean, he was talking a minute, but he was shown up and embarrassed by an 18-year-old who came on and ran the game.
So was pretty much everyone.
I think the problem with Gareth Barry, going back to Gareth Barry, I don't even want to talk about the other soft get. Going back to Gareth Barry, he's playing every game, which he shouldn't be doing.
He won't be playing the next game.
No, but he's up against a top-class midfield.
No, definitely.
And Kante was everywhere. Matic was excellent. I thought Matic was brilliant for Chelsea. And they were everywhere. Pedro was fabulous, so was Hazard. And the movement was too good. It's too quick for him. We said this last year. There'll be games when he'll be brilliant for Everton. But it'll probably be at Goodison when we're the team and we've got the crowd. Away from home with those big games, I'd hate to think he'll play it like Anfield, because I think he'd just be...
But having Garner next to him now just adds
No, I know, Ped, but he's 36. There's going to be a time where he needs 4, 5, 6 weeks off the team on the bench.
Of course.
And that's up to us.
But then that's the squad again, isn't it? But
yeah.
Again... No, I know, they were brilliant. They were brilliant. And that's what I'm saying, they were brilliant. But I mean, as an attacking threat, defensively we would tell, as an attacking threat, you just...
You were nothing, maybe. We got in a couple of times wide, and Koeman wasted one. Balassi messing about instead of putting the ball in. Just the move broke down. Yeah. We had a good little break. Throw it in. Lukaku's in it. Throw it in. No, stop. And that was the story.
Ross not to be seen again.
No.
You know, not just wasn't seen again. Just
I think he was better than the other two.
Just
and that was,
no, I know,
that
but what I'm
wasn't
saying,
hard.
I know,
That was because he had 2 legs.
Just as you say, Balassi.
Too many.
All of them.
It was just
I mean,
dominant,
everyone wasn't it? Everyone. But
I thought out of the thing, and I don't know what you thought, but for me, out of the 11 that started, Ashley Williams was probably the best because he kept going and kept going. He was putting tackles in. He was trying to stop goals, even a 5-0. He was still running around.
But he's getting dragged into areas.
He was getting dragged, but there was one when Costa leaves Jagielka in the dust again, and I didn't even think Costa could run. By the way,
is that the one where he megged him?
And he just put it and went past them, and he lays the ball off, right? And Ashley Williams goes out to press the ball. Costa lays it off, and Ashley Williams runs past Jagielka and Seamus Coleman, who had just stood oblivious, and gets a block in when I can't even think who's. Oh no, it was Costa who's in. Yeah. He lays it off and runs, and he gets the block in. Otherwise, it'd have gone in. And the other two are stood there holding hands like. And you think?
Can we just talk about Jagielka for a minute?
Can we talk about the 3rd goal?
Go on, talk about the 3rd goal.
One job. You're our centre forward, and I give you one job, and you've got Diego Costa to mark. Why aren't you just looking at Costa?
Yeah. It was abysmal.
All he has to do is go and block the shot.
10 yards. 10 yards. You know, he was
so bad.
10 yards.
I mean, listen. The game was well done by then. I
can't remember the goals. I've sort of. But Jagielka, is he?
I don't know. I've got a
is he finished? Because and I know a lot of people go. How many players have we watched who get to a certain age and they just go like that? Yeah. This Dan,
Phil
Neville, Kevin Ratcliffe,
Tim Howard,
David Weir.
Stubbs.
They're just Everton players. I remember Gary Neville. Remember the game against was it Stoke?
Yeah.
And he just went after the game. I'm finished, lads. I'm finished. Sky, I liked. He just said I'm finished. So
I don't think Jack is finished. I think potentially it's coming to a time soon where he will be finished as a guaranteed first teamer. I think he can play again. If you manage him, he could probably do a burst of games, 3 or 4 games, and then he's out. Against top quality, who are pacey, he's struggling. Now, I don't know whether he's struggling with an injury. I'm not sure. That was the most worried I've been about Jagielka.
Should be in the England squad then, would he? Would he be in the England squad?
Well, he shouldn't be anywhere near the
No, he shouldn't be, but would he be if he had any kind of injury?
Well,
surely Koeman, surely with all the shit that's been going on over Ireland, surely if there was any kind of injury, Koeman would just
at this moment in time, I'm not ready to throw him out with the bathwater, but certainly as a starter, he wouldn't be anywhere near the side for a few weeks, not a chance, because I think and you know that I'm not the Funes Mori's greatest fan, but at the moment I would play Funes Mori with Williams because I think at least he's probably fit enough to get around the pitch. That was worrying. I think against a less mobile team, Jagielka could probably still be a good defender for us. I'm not saying kick him out, but I think it's probably coming to the time now where he's the bench.
Yeah,
that's how it looks. He could come back. I
just think his last 3 appearances have just been shambolic. Man City, Burnley and Chelsea. I just think he's been absolutely shambolic. Yeah. But basic stuff though.
Scary stuff.
Like Saturday. What scared me most about Saturday was the amount of times he was running out of his position and getting sucked into things that. You look at Williams. Williams plays in a box, doesn't he? He plays in this box, and he knows not to leave that box. And Jagielka, that one on the halfway line. Oh my God! He got dragged out. Dragged out. Nutmegged by Costa, and then Costa. And as you said, Costa's not lightning quick, and Costa just left. Oh, it was embarrassing.
There was he was running like I'd be running after Costa. Do you know what I mean? He was like he hasn't ran for 4 years. That's what he looked like, and that was terrifying. I hope it doesn't become a situation where he still plays when we're getting, because I do love Jags, I still love him. I don't think he's probably not mentally strong enough, as like I was saying before, but I've enjoyed watching him as an Everton defender.
He had a good moment at the referee, didn't he, when he'd been fouled, got booked for it.
Well, he can have a moment all he wants, mate, but it's a pity he doesn't show more of that, because
no, I know.
A couple of times they left the foot in and we should have had 3 or 4 people around the referee, and we didn't. We just again let him do what he wanted. So I don't know, I think, just to get back to your original question, I think his time is probably coming where he's a sub at best.
Again, that's another
it's a big position.
It's another position, isn't it, we need to look for, and you know, we'll look.
I mean, you get into the second half, and you think, right, the game's dead, let's go out and let's have a little bit of a go. And we had our first attempt and our only attempt that didn't go on target in the 71st minute, and it was a Kevin Morales back header off a corner that didn't trouble anybody, and that was it. And if you're Romelu Lukaku, if you're Yannick Bolasie, if you're Aaron Lennon, if you're Kevin Morales, Ross Barkley, you should be embarrassed. You're playing a Premier League game, don't have an attempt at goal. How have you got through 94 minutes without shooting at their goal? But you can laugh, but that to me is like teams like Cheltenham will go there and have 7 attempts at goal. Might get beat 5-0, but we've just gone as a Premier League team, and a team that people said Saturday morning, this is a dangerous game for Chelsea because these are a good side. We had 1 attempt at goal. Absolutely diabolical.
As you say, shite.
You can't, I mean, you said it right at the very start, you can't go overboard, but the way I looked at it, I just thought, right, now is the time to forget about the likes of Seamus Coleman for me. You know, I think that if there's ever a player that needs a rest, I'm not advocating selling him, I just think he needs a kick up the arse, and that kick up the arse comes from playing. I want my Everton team, if you're wearing the shirt, it's because you're playing well. It's not because you're whoever you are, you play for your country or whatever. It's because you're playing well. And if you're not playing well, then you'll come and sit on the bench and we'll put someone else in who's playing well. Seamus Coleman hasn't played well all season. I don't care what anyone says. He hasn't played well. He might have had little spurts against Middlesbrough. Second half against West Ham was okay. Hasn't played well. Jack Ilke, we just touched on, struggling like anything, really poorly. The goalkeeper, by the way, Joel had a good game against West Ham, clean sheet. So if I was Joel, I'd be saying, hang on, this fella's threw 2 in his net at Burnley, or certainly 1. He's threw two, I mean a few of the goals. Near post and the shot by Hazard, I wasn't happy with either, but a couple have gone into weekend. Why is he in? You know, Oviedo is in because we've got nobody else. Gareth Barry, time for a rest, although he's been our best midfielder this season. So, you know, you can look at that team and you can make cases against all of them. Rom has to play because you've got no one else, and he still will get you goals. Bolasie, at the moment, probably just about deserves to get in, but you can't make a case for others.
No, and no one's pushing them either from the bench as well.
Enna Valencia, 60 grand a week or something, someone said.
I don't even know where he is.
But he's never even an option. It's not even like, we're getting beat 3-0, let's throw another centre forward on him, and he's not even warming up, I don't think. And you're going, why have we got him here? Why? Have you brought him in, looked at him and gone, you're garbage? Because if you have, put him in the under-23s with Nias then. You know,
if you have, send them back.
They don't do they, but yeah, I suppose you could turn out to Valencia and say you're not going to play.
Yeah, just send
you're
them
going back in
terminate
January.
The contract and just send them back. In January, whatever.
Because he's not getting any minutes, is he? I mean, Saturday, you're 5-0 down, you may as well put him on. If there's 20 minutes of a game, it didn't matter, but you know, for me, it was a sad case that he brought Tom Davies on, and Tom Davies looked head and shoulders above anything.
Well, he looked, I mean, Tom Davies came on and he looked, because obviously Barry got booked, so that basically, you know, means
that's done.
You know, unless he plays,
got his rest.
Yeah, unless he plays cleverly and Ghana in the next game. But he brought
Ghana, yes, please.
He brought him on, and to be fair, what I think what's great about the lad is he always wants the ball. He's always
competes.
He's always getting you know, his body shape into positions that, you know, he wants the ball, he can turn, and he's not scared of going in with a tackle with anybody.
Strong.
Okay, I think he lost the ball once and it led to Chelsea attack, but so what, he's a kid, these things happen, you know, you got to learn. But he's the future, and I think the future should be now. The future should be now.
I think there's times when you've got to go, he deserves a go now, and it's not just because we got beat 5-0, it's the manner in which we got beat 5-0. And I think you look, and you just said before, you know, Gareth Barry needs a rest. He's how cleverly he's come in, he's not done anything for me, he's not done anything to warrant him being in the side. And I think you could put Davies into that midfield with Ghana.
Yeah.
We've got a Swansea team coming up, who I watched yesterday for a bit against United, absolutely horrific, that side, playing at them, the way they're playing is horrific. And it's a good chance to have some energy and a bit of youthful exuberance in the middle of that park, protected by, of course, having Ashley Williams behind them. Nice and compact side. I think he'd do well, and I think it gives everyone a lift. I think if you You bounced out against, going to Goodison against Swansea and Holgate's in at right back. You've got Tom Davies in the middle.
Baines maybe back.
Baines hopefully back in at left back. You've got Rom up there, maybe Lennon starts or Delafeu starts. All of a sudden you go, Gaffer means business here. Like, these players haven't really done it, so that a few of them are going to have a little rest, or, sit out, get themselves. Yeah. Can we go with new like we did against when we played the Norwich game, the last game of the season? It was a different thing.
Yeah.
And we're in a really good position. Yeah, that was horrible Saturday, but we're in there, like you've just said before. We're 8 points off the top, which is berserk. And I know it's jumbled up a little bit, and Hull done us a favour beating Southampton, and Liverpool done us a favour hammering Watford. So it meant that we are where we are. So we can get over the line against Swansea. We're coming into some big fixes, but we'll have 21 points and be thinking, right, okay, we're within touching distance of where we want to be, which was the challenging for the Europa.
Yeah, and I know, as you said there, you're coming into a period now where you're starting to get December's such a busy month. And January's such a busy month, and it's non-stop, and there's no internationals, and you go solid, and you'll need to know at the very least what he's got about around the squad, and that'll take us hopefully to January, where I think Mashiri said today that he's willing to back him in January. And I know a lot of people say, well, you can't buy, there's nothing to buy in January, but so what? You can buy, of course you can buy in January, you can buy, and buys do get made, so you
can buy better than what we've got.
Yeah, exactly. He needs to go out and buy some top, but also if that's to buy the likes of Tom Davies, maybe a couple more coming through in and around, in and around the team, then that's going to aid it. And as you said, there's a lot of players out there that fans are just like, nah. Do you know what I mean? We've sort of seen through them a little bit now. And also, let's get this right.
People protect those.
Let's get this right as well. Players do come to an age where the game starts passing them by, or the players hit the peak at different times. Who's to say Seamus Coleman hasn't already hit his peak? You know what I mean? And
I mean, I like you said, I think Seamus can come back. Of course, he can come back strong. He's 28, and he's still a quality right back. I just don't think he's playing well at the moment, and I think I want my Everton side to be about people who are playing well. I don't want anybody to be guaranteed there.
And also, I want my Everton side to get some life in them, because as we said earlier, Chelsea were all over us all game. There was a little bit for like 10-15 minutes where they sort of sat back a little bit, but they were up and at us all game. They wanted it, and they were. But
that was a glimpse of what we need to be.
Yeah, they never let up. And this idea of remember think about it like this. Remember the first game of the season? That hour was great. Bang, 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 in faces, getting in. The press and and everyone was like, "Fucking hell! He's already instilled it." And it for me, it's sort of slowly dropped off to the point that
that's the level of player.
We don't really seem to be doing that at the moment.
He said himself after in the interview, didn't he, about the pressing and stuff. He said we've been shown what you have to do, and he looked to me like he thought, and you said it before, that he just thought, like, you're not up for it, you're not up to it, you're not up to it, and I know what I need now.
But even I watched Arsenal yesterday and Tottenham, and Arsenal went behind, Tottenham went behind, to scruffy, and you're thinking, if that was us at Anfield, we would have just collapsed there. 1-0. You're playing well. They were the better team, Tottenham. They're playing well. There's an own goal. There's a bit of controversy over it. We would have just felt to bits. Tottenham came on second half and they went, no, we're all right.
Still in it.
We're a good team. Believe in what we do. Keep doing it. They got themselves back in the game, and they probably should have won it maybe in the end. And that mentality is there. And you look at those players, and you go, is there much between the players? There's not massive amount, but it's just those little degrees, and it's that belief as well. Those players, I was impressed by, and slightly shifting, but I was impressed the way Tottenham just went, it's all right, this is okay. We would have just gone, we'd have come out second half, conceded within the first 5 minutes, and then just got battered for the whole of the
I don't think there's I was saying, I don't think there was Watford done it yesterday, but I've just seen Everton side crumble. Is there a team that concedes goals as quickly in succession as we did?
We did last season.
Are you ever surprised?
We did last season at Arsenal, didn't we?
Just bang, bang.
Doing sound, goal, bang, oh, we're out the game.
That's it, you're done. And you're just like, that's how we do it all the time, and you're looking and going. And I also seen people going, bet you Martinez is smirking now, never got battered at Chelsea. No, but this team, they conceded 6 at Goodison against Chelsea.
Yeah.
2-0 down after 3 minutes. So,
Yeah, so.
And it wasn't like he had, had 3 years to do anything about it or anything. But listen, the players are the players, and until you get better players, you will still continue to get similar results. We've got good footballers. Are they top players? No, they're not. No. And they're not because mentally they're not.
And I think it also says quite a lot about the league as well. I know, you look at that top 4 and you go, yeah, that's the top 4, and it hasn't even got Tottenham and Man United in it. And then there's us.
But I still think, I think Spurs might force the way in. But yeah, but again, United, I don't think United are much better than Everton.
No, but
I think over the course of season, I still don't think they will.
I think they've got those.
They've probably got players. They probably have got better mentality, but we'll see, won't we, as it goes forward. If Mourinho keeps falling out with them, at some stage, call them cowards.
We're addressing everyone else's team now.
No, I think for us, we know we need to buy in January. There's no question about it. Saturday was horrific. And it's bad. Yeah. It's bad in one way and it's good in another. It's bad that we've got 2 weeks to stew over it, but he's got 2 weeks to get worked up.
I'm not stewing over it. I'm partying. You see Mashiri's interview? I'm loving it. Good times are good. Anyway. Forget about it. That's over and done with now. Let us know in the comments. Are you like one of these people who's going to sit there for 2 weeks fuming? Do you want mass changes in the next game, or are you a little bit like both of us? Like really bad day at the office. The manager knows now. He knows now.
I still do want some changes.
He's got a board on his wall, and he's just put loads of crosses to it. Cleverly, Stecklenburg.
No, he'll have Stech. He loves the Stech.
Jagielka. Let us know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching Toffee TV. We'll see you later. Baz was gonna wave. He was gonna wave. He just did. Oh, he's done it! He's done it! See you later.